I love the names on this team. They have Sixto Sanchez, and they have my favorite name probably in baseball right now, Jazz Chisholm.
Showing emotion in baseball is terrible and should never be in the game.
It's weird how the dynamic works between sports.
But to win a championship, not only do you need great players on the court, but you need good chemistry, which takes time to develop.
Justin Fields is a all-time talent.
Corey Perry will give some veteran presence to the Canadians.
I feel like Luka will take that next step, and if he can get a three ball consistently around 35%, I feel like they could become a contender.
We can make jokes about you not being in the Super Bowl for 20-something years, but...
What's up, everyone? This is Justin Goldman from the Goalie Guild and Lift the Mask, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Top 10 players in the Stanley Cup Final. Let's know what you think. While we get into it, I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the Cat Whisperer, Austin.
Yep, that's what I am for this round. I have a Panthers jersey reverse retro. I really like the reverse retro from this year, and that's what I'm repping for this series and this series alone. But let's get into our top 10 players. This is coming out obviously after the finals has already started, or the Stanley Cup Finals already started. But this is based on what has happened before, so it's not necessarily regular season. It's regular season and postseason. Who we think are the top 10 players in this Stanley Cup Final based on that.
All right, I'll let you go first.
I will start with my number 10, and that's Aaron Ekblad, the defenseman for the Florida Panthers. He's just a rock back there, and he's been extremely vital for this team's success in past seasons, and that continues now.
All right, that's a good pick. Mine is William Carrier from the Vegas Golden Knights. He's just been a force. He was really a force in that Stars series. And I believe he's on their fourth line. Or no?
I don't... Is he on the fourth line? I didn't think he was. He could be.
Okay. I can't remember. But I was hearing William Carrier a lot when he was playing the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, he had a decent series for him, especially because he's not a big point getter. He only had 25 points during the regular season. So if you can get points out of a guy that's supposed to be just a defensive forward, then that's definitely helpful. Who's your 9?
My 9 is Eric Stahl. He's been in the playoffs for a long time. He played really well in the Stanley Cup Final, but overall, I think he's been a really good player for the Florida Panthers ever since he's come over.
Okay. My number 9 is William Karlsson. He's one of the best two-way forwards, and he's, of the two-way forwards I have listed that I consider two-way, he's third best in this series. His ability to impact both sides, offensively, defensively, he's just so monumental to the success of Vegas, and that's why he's my 9.
All right. Who's your 8?
My 8, we go back to Florida. Brandon Montour, what a playoffs he's had. He's my top ranking Florida defenseman and defenseman in general, mainly because I don't think this is a defenseman series on either side. But Montour's had a great playoffs, and I've been thoroughly impressed by everything he's done, especially after a middling regular season.
All right. My 8 is Aaron Ekblad. You already mentioned him. I think he really helps offensively as a defender, but he's also a good defender. Then I'll go to my 7. My 7th is Jonathan Marchessault. He's just been incredible, and he's one of the main goal scorers, even though it seems like it's just an even group of players, but he really has been a good player for the Golden Knights.
Okay. Who is your next player?
So I said Ekblad was 8, and then 7 was Marchessault.
Okay. My 7 is Aiden Hill, the goaltender, obviously for Vegas. I didn't want to put him too highly because he did not play that much in the regular season. I don't know how this moment is going to fare for him, but I still have him in my top 10 because of how well he's played. And I think if Vegas wins this series, he'll be a major reason why.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So then, who's your 6?
My 6 is Jonathan Marchessault. You just mentioned him at 7. Uh, he's a great player. He is, I believe, has the most points in Vegas history in the playoffs, and his impact is felt with a lot of timely goals. Most of his goals are big goals, goals that matter and win games. And he's a great passer, great scorer. And while he is shorter stature, like 5'8", 5'9", he gets it done nonetheless.
All right. And then my 6 is Sam Bennett. I think he's been great on that line with Kachuk and has really turned it on in the playoffs. Then we'll go to my 5 is Aiden Hill. I have him up here for the same reasons. Just been incredible this playoffs, and you've really covered it.
So my 5 is Mark Stone, the second best defensive or two-way forward here. There's a reason why he's a captain. He's an amazing leader, a great player, and everything he does on the ice benefits both sides of the puck. He has very few holes. He's not the best scorer, and he's not the best defensive forward, but he's a very good defensive forward and a very good offensive forward. And his ability to do that both ways is monumental for Vegas' success. And I think he will be a leader for this team moving forward.
Yeah, he's a really good player. Who's your 4?
Yeah, my 4 is Sergei Bobrovsky, 2-time Vezina winner. Both of those were with Columbus. Were they with Columbus? I believe they were with Columbus. I think both of them were with Columbus. I will check that.
You'd correct.
But because I know that he played for that wasn't his first team was not Columbus. It was Philly. But it was Columbus. His last year was Philly. Philly was the year before he won his first Vezina. So his first year in Columbus, he won a Vezina. And then obviously he won one in the great 16-17 year where he was just so dominant. But now he's turned back to that form, and he has playoff experience. He's beaten the two best highest winning teams in NHL history. And he, like I said, has that experience. He's been in big games, whether it be internationally or here in the NHL. And he's had one of the best runs I've seen from a goalie since 2012, Jonathan Quick.
I agree with you because Bobrovsky is my 4 as well. So I think we can just move on. My 3 is Alexander Barkov with the Florida Panthers. He's really one of their top forwards, and he's their captain. And he's really done well in the playoffs.
Yeah, my 3 is Barkov, like you just mentioned. So we're agreeing here a little bit. He is the best two-way forward of the bunch. He just impacts the game in so many different levels, and he's been, like I said, Aaron Ekblad is a rock. Barkov is a rock too. He's been the captain of this team for many years. Every playoff run the Ford has been to recently. He's been a part of that team, and he's been a big piece for them. He's a great leader, a great player on both sides of the puck, and I think that he will be an amazing player in this final.
All right, and now your number 2.
My 2 is Jack Eichel. Everything that Eichel can do offensively is just outstanding. I don't know if it's a little bit underrated because he missed some games during the regular season, and he's a point per game guy. He had 66 points in 67 games, and he obviously heard all the talk about him being a locker room cancer and you can't win with Eichel and all that stuff because of the teams that he played with in Buffalo were bad, and then last year he missed the playoffs in Vegas, but he's really turned it on, and he's a great performer.
Well said. That's also my 2. So we're going. I think we're going to go 4 for 4 because my number 1 is Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, Tkachuk's my number 1. I don't think there's much of a question here. It really isn't all that close, considering that Tkachuk is a little bit older of a player. I think. I think they were about the same draft class, but I think Tkachuk is older.
I think. Yeah, I was surprised because I thought Tkachuk was younger or Eichel was older, but he's only 25.
Yeah, Tkachuk's 25 as well, but he'll turn 26 early next year. Okay. But I guess they're. I knew they were in the same draft class. I just thought Tkachuk was older, but
Jack Eichel is 26. That's my bad.
Okay, so Eichel's a little bit older, but they're basically the same age, and what Tkachuk has done this year, he's such a physical player, and for a physical player like him to put up 100 points in the season and everything, 3 game-winning goals last in the conference final, you don't see players like that all the time, and I really wonder his impact on this series, and if he can continue to play like he has been all year, they're a dangerous team.
Yes, I agree, and really looking back at that trade, that's really interesting. Even just a few months ago, it would have been people would have felt differently probably than they do now. But that's all we got. Let us know what you think, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.